All right, so we are recording tonight. So thank you all for being on tonight. This is the first time we've done a new coach mentorship Zoom call with this particular group. So started in July doing my mentoring as far as new coach basics training. Jade, if you've been around for any amount of time, you've probably heard that term, coach basics training. And I revamped it a little bit into units and more self-paced because, as you know, when you've been in the business for a while, the coaches that want it are going to do it. And the coaches that don't want it, it doesn't matter if I come to their house and open up the computer and give them the resource, it's just not going to happen. So we went with a self-paced sort of mentorship, and we all know that, live stuff and really engaging face-to-face is what keeps us engaged in this business. We get behind these computers and we forget sometimes that there are people on the other side of them. And the more that we can engage with the awesomeness of technology, I think the more we stay on track. So Jade is talking to us tonight. She's our special guest speaker tonight. And I gave you all a little bit of a bio on her, but I sort of found Jade through a funny little track through another mentorship group that I happen to be in for myself, for my own mentoring, because I'm not just trying to help all of you. I'm trying to get better every day myself. And I'm in a mentorship group, and some other coach in that particular group had asked if anyone had a diamond coach who had achieved diamond in a relatively, I don't know if short is the right word, because short's such a, subjective term, but had achieved it relatively quickly. And if they had someone like that would be willing to share on their calls. And Micah Folsom, who's a friend of mine, doubles Superstar Diamond team, shared that she had this amazing coach, Jade. And Jade had gone diamond in 3 months, and she works full-time as a teacher. As you can see in her background, she's actually in her classroom right now because she has better internet there on a Sunday night. She has 2 little ones at home. And so I love her story because I think 3 months is such an amazingly doable time to achieve diamond. It's not 3 years. It's also not 3 days. Sometimes we hear those coaches that come out of the gate and they go just rocket launch, and 3 days later, they're like a 5-star diamond. You're like, I don't even know what you're saying. That makes no sense to me. But to achieve diamond in 3 months, to me, feels very doable, especially now, with all the resources and all the guidance and all the tools that we have, not just training, but in Beachbody On Demand and Shakeology and Beach Bar and just everything that's out there, that feels very doable to me. And I love, Jade, that you do it with a full-time job and 2 little kids at home. So almost every excuse that someone could say, well, I don't have blah, 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 you've done it. And I love that. So I asked Jade if she would share her story a little bit with us tonight, and also talk about some of the actions that you took and how you managed to build within this. I have a full-time job and a husband and kids as well, and how you managed to do that, and then do a little bit of Q&A. So our sort of check-in tonight is Jade, and she's going to share her story and be willing to do some Q&A for us. And I just know that this is going to help all of us put it in perspective and understand that the business really is a lot more simple than we make it to be sometimes. So Jade, I'm going to mute myself and let you take over. And you guys, if you've not done Zoom before, if you go up in the right-hand corner, it'll say speaker view, and you can click on that, and that'll make Jade big and the rest of us sort of go away. So it's not such a Brady Bunch look.
Okay. Thank you, Julie. And you interrupt me at any time if you need to, say something or anything like that. So I just had my second baby, Adeline, and she is now a little bit over 1. But I was like going through that postpartum phase of life. Now, I had great pregnancies. I was a happy person. But I was in that funk of like wanting to work out, but having no energy to do so, and having a full-time job and 2 babies. And so I'm just trying to tell you like how I got to Beachbody. So I'm pretty sure like the Lord put Micah on my page like over and over and over again. And I don't know how I didn't go out looking for someone like that. She just kept popping up on my page. And so for about 5 months or so, I would go through weeks of at a time of like, I'm going to eat healthy this week, or I'm going to work out this week. And so I would watch Micah Folsom because she would motivate me. And then I would get out of the funk And I would be like, oh, I missed a day. So I would not eat healthy and I would not work out. And so I wouldn't watch Micah. And then a couple of weeks would roll around again and I would get back motivated. And so I'd start. And so I'd go back to Micah's page and she was still there. Like that literally happened for 5 months. And finally, on spring break, because I'm a teacher, I had this week. We weren't going anywhere. We were going to be at home. And I was like, David, my husband, I was like, it's time. I've been watching this girl for 5 months and she's there. She has 4 kids. I only have 2. Like, I have no excuse. I have a week I can dedicate to really get myself in gear. And a tiny bit of backstory, I have completed in 2012, before my husband and I were married, we did P90X together. And so even though I kind of hated it, I got in the best shape of my life ever. And so I knew how it felt to feel good. And I knew how much energy I had. Like we had a pull-up bar in our kitchen, like on the door frame. And I would just go over to that thing and just kick them out all the time. Like I wanted, as a mom of 2, to feel like that. Now, not to do pull-ups, but, just to have that energy of feeling so good. I needed it. I was always sleeping and pushing the snooze button 5 times. And I was falling asleep on the couch at 8 o'clock at night when my husband was watching TV. Like, if you're a mom, like you are exhausted. And especially I teach kindergarten. So I'm with 5-year-olds all day. I mean, I was just done and I had no energy and I needed energy. And so spring break rolled around and I reached out to Micah. She had never reached out to me ever. She probably didn't even know I existed. And so anyway, I just did it. I was like, David, I'm doing it. He was like, please do. I want you to. So that's how it started. I signed up directly as a coach. From then on, I didn't do a customer for a while. I just signed up as a coach with an intention to help other moms who felt like me. And also, I think the main reason was because I needed accountability. I needed the most accountability ever because I felt like I knew how to work out. I mean, the P90X DVDs were sitting in my garage, and I felt like I knew how to eat healthy. Like we had followed that meal plan before, we had done clean eating, but you can know all the things and still not do it. And so I needed an accountability, and that was the biggest thing. And so this is all going to tie into how I, work this business here in a second. I'm just trying to give you a tiny bit of backstory. So anyway, I just jumped 2 feet in, and Micah got me signed up, and I did 21 Day Fix Extreme, and I just started sharing my journey. She too has like Coach University, and so I just went through that. And I went through, at the time, she had it scheduled for a 2-week course, and it was a post a day, but I was on spring break, and so I just did all of it in that 1 week before I went back to school, just because I had more time on my hands. And so basically, I just did what was in the university. It wasn't hard. I just did it. And I mean, like everything, as a teacher, I can relate to this, but like anything new can be overwhelming, but it's just new. So it's not hard. Nothing in this business is hard. It's just new stuff for you to think about and learn about. By the way, I was not on Instagram at all until 4 months ago. Like I really thought it was just for filters for your photos. Don't tell too many people I just said that. But anyway, I'm getting so much better at it now. But anyway, so I just started going through the Coach University, and basically what I got from Micah from the beginning was like your journey. And I know Julie has told you that, like you have to focus on your journey. And so that's what I did. I got really good at sharing my journey. I got really good at posting it every day. I really loved the stories aspect just because like it's not so out there, and you've watched a ton of, trainings on the stories of Instagram, but like it's a really great step in to like becoming more social on social media, because I was like the fly on the wall that just scrolled and probably didn't even like too many people's stuff. I just was a stalker probably. But like Micah, I don't even think I ever liked any of her stuff. I was just creeping her and watching her. So I became more social, and like I'm a happy person, and I wasn't a mean person before, but I wasn't like outwardly nice to people, if that makes sense. Like I would wave, and I'm kind. I feel like I'm a kind person, but now I'm like sharing that kindness with other people. And like when Micah kept saying that, like in our trainings, she would be like, you're just dropping drops of awesome on people's pages, and you're just making them feel good. And I was like, I can do that. Like, I can definitely do that. And so that's what I did. I just shared my journey every day, and I started connecting with people, saying their dress was cute, saying their kid was cute, liking and commenting just galore, because I was like, I can do that and I can share my journey. As a teacher, I've learned, like, don't try to get good at everything at first, because that's too overwhelming. So I really tried to focus on like the things that I felt like I could do, and then start bringing in extra things. Like she always said, don't get good at a blog and Facebook and Instagram, and don't run a website. Don't do all of that. And I was like, good, because I'm not going to. So I really had a good warm market on Facebook. Even though Instagram is like the main thing right now, I've still put quite a bit of my time into Facebook, just because I have a lot of warm market people on there that's pretty active on there. And but I do the same on Instagram. I do both of those pretty much equally. Whatever I put on one, I put on the other. But those are the only two social media things that I'm focusing on right now. I don't do anything different. So I got good at those two things, and I'm getting better at expanding. That's something that still makes me a little, kind of, I've never done that before. And so I'm just allowing grace, and I'm figuring it out as I go. I've been blessed with a warm market, a very large warm market. We've moved a couple of times. We have a lot of churches we've gone to. And so and I've teach in a school building with a lot of women teachers. So I have been blessed with interacting with just people that I know. And that's all of my challengers so far have been that. I don't have one challenger or coach that I didn't know before. So, but I'm starting to get there, because, you can see on your stories people that you don't know that are starting to watch you. So I'm starting to branch out into the colder market that I'm making connections with. But I really focused on my warm market at first. Okay, I signed up as a coach. Spring break I started. So as a coach, what I've done, I work in you can imagine my life. So it's usually more like power pockets than a full hour. Now I will say, if I am feeling really good, because I do have so much more energy now. I mean, it's just, and that's what I share with people. That's what I do. I just share, guys, I was falling asleep on the couch at 7, and now I can stay up till 10 without even thinking about it. It's such a blessing to me. So, but I usually work in the morning. I get up really early before my girls and before school. So I started in spring break. So, I had to go back to school for April and May, and then I was on summer break. So I got up at 4 a.m. and I got all of the first things in, my workout in, and PD in, and I got a post up every morning before I went to school. So I did those things in the morning. And then I tried, if any of you are teachers, after school is crazy, but I tried to close my door and get 30 minutes in before I went home. So I just stayed in my classroom, because we know I have better internet here. And I just got the bulk of the work done then, probably 30 to 45 minutes. And I mean, I know it's ideal that you can get it done within an hour, but let's kind of be honest. If you're new and you're learning, you're scatterbrained. At least I am. And so it actually took me longer than an hour, just because it takes me 10 minutes to sit down and figure out what I'm supposed to be doing and start doing it. So I would say an hour is your goal, but you're going to have to allow yourself a little bit of time just to kind of figure out what you need to be doing and when you need to be doing it. And I'm still giving myself grace on getting a schedule down, but that's what I did. I stayed after school for about 30 to 45 minutes and got the National Wake Up Call watched, or any videos that Micah posted, or my invites, or my focus on expanding my network, because I'm awful at that. I'm getting better, but it took me a time to kind of figure out my groove with that. So all of the bulk done before I went home, and then, but I love being with my kids, so I really did set a timer. I didn't stay long, 30 minutes and I'm gone. And at home at night, my girls go to bed at 7. So I would eat dinner with my hubby, talk to him for a few minutes, and then finish up what I needed to do. If it was, a training that I needed to watch or messages I needed to follow up on or things like that.
Okay, so Jade, would you say that end of school day stuff is brilliant right there? That's a really brilliant tip, just because it doesn't have to be end of a school day. It could be somewhere in someone's day. But would you say that those 30 to 45 minutes, as I'm writing down kind of what you did, would you say you saved the activities for that pocket of time, the activities that really needed more intense focus and quiet, no distraction? Is that sort of how you divide it up? Because in the morning you're doing your workout and you're doing your personal development and you're putting up your post, and maybe you've already thought about your post, or you're letting your post sort of come to you while you're doing your workout or whatever that might be. What would you say you were doing at the end of the school day specifically in that pocket?
Okay, so after the school day, I would probably do I would do a lot of the connecting. I've gotten better. I had to be intentional. I still am struggling, but I'm really trying to be intentional. But I would do my connecting, I would do my inviting, and I would do any training, something that I needed to watch. And probably another social media post if I needed to. A lot of my social media is like with my kids when I get home. So, for my stories purposes. So, but sometimes I would post a snack, like me sitting there at Perfect Teacher Snack or drinking my water or something like that. But most of it was like my expanding, my connecting, my inviting, my follow-ups. All of that, like where I don't need kids grabbing me and things like that, I would just get it done right then. And then that way, when I got home, I felt like I was pretty much done, other than if somebody messaged me, I would answer that before I went to sleep.
And that makes sense that you were very intentional, whether you knew exactly what you're going to do in that particular pocket or not. You knew that having that pocket was going to create in your day a space where you could be very focused. So then that way you could this is not the time to scroll Facebook and look at filters, and that can be done on the couch later on. But that particular pocket was stuff that required your focus, and then that could change from day to day. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. Just
okay.
Yes. Whatever, like if it was a follow-up day or an invite day. I started that cycle with I invited on one day. On Tuesdays, I invited. And then I followed up on Thursdays. So Tuesdays, I would be doing that. And now I'm getting better at writing people's names down. So that inviting doesn't take as long. Mm-hmm. But you start you're okay, I got to invite people. So I got to go find people. Then I got to write a message, and then I got to send it to them.
Right.
Where now I'm getting smarter and I can have that message already ready. I can already have something written, and it's a lot. But that's just what I meant at the beginning. I was scatterbrained, and I think it's okay because you're just trying to figure it out.
Right. Yeah. Right. And then like you said, it's just like anything, like driving or anything, that's brand new. It's not that it's overwhelming. It's so funny that you say that phrase. And this has to be why Micah and I are friends, and why she said you would be awesome, because I'm listening to some of what you're saying. I'm like, I say that too. Mike and I are very similar in probably our ethics and our values and how we run our team. And, it's not overwhelming, because overwhelming has a negative connotation. It's just new. It's just new. And new just requires a little bit, as you keep saying, grace and a little bit more time to learn. It doesn't mean we can't learn it. We won't learn it. We won't get good at it. It's just new, and that's okay. That's okay. So, okay, you keep going.
Okay. And on the new topic real quick, I tell myself probably 3 times a day, this isn't hard. You are literally talking to people. You are making friends, and you are sharing your life with people. So if ever I get overwhelmed, because it does happen, of course, I'm a mom and a teacher and I've got this going on, but I just stop and I'm like, no, I'm not going to let you be like that. This is a joy. You're making friends, you're meeting, you're inspiring people. So it's all okay. So yeah, it's not hard. It's just new, and you just got to get used to it. So that's kind of where I am at that. Okay. So how I sign people up, do you kind of want to go that direction? Okay. I kind of when I told you I had a warm market. So when I started, I actually had a lot of people just saying, not even if they were really interested, but just saying, what are you doing? you are doing great. How motivating is that? And like, that was fuel to my fire, just like, personal growth development is. So that kind of, I let that happen for a couple of days. And then I was like, okay, I can share this with other people. I can invite people. And so I started doing that. And then I always offer the discount coach offer every time. And I always use share card. I'm sure all of you do too. I mean, like, I've had one of my coaches this week was like, how do I send them a link to my website? And I'm like, don't do that. Like, they're not going to go there now. And so if you're not using share card, I'm sure all of you are, but oh my goodness, it's so easy. And I married my husband for the technology part of life. And so if I can figure it out, you can figure it out. I really did. I tell people that. So I always offer.
It's funny you say that, because someone just said the other day, I don't know what call I was on, they were like, well, I just don't use share card. And literally in my head, I thought, how do you send anyone any information? Like, I almost can't even remember what it was like to do just a link anymore. I just do share cart, and you can add in Energize and Beachbody. What, you can create this beautiful little package for them. I literally thought, well, how do you even sign anyone up if you're not using share cart? So what are you doing? I don't get it.
Yeah, if I can do it, I promise anybody can do it. So I always use share cart, and I always at the end just say, you need to think about the coach account. And then I go in with my mom that has a coach account. So that, like, kind of, I just try to relate with all of them. I've told you they're all warm market people, so most of them, but like, if somebody's going to believe that my mom has, a coach account, it's not that scary, of a thing. And so I have most of my team is discount coaches. That's what I built with. I wrote it down, like 12 out of, I think I have 12 total. So yeah, like 7 out of the 12 are discount coaches. So, and I've just had 2 since I've started becoming active. So like, they stopped ordering Shakeology or something since I started. So they're pretty consistent discount coach people. And I just always offer it. And I'm like, especially if you ever think you're going to order Shakeology again, it's a no-brainer. Like, that's why my mom is a discount coach. My mother-in-law is. I am. I take the discount too. So anyway, I just offer that to everybody, and I kind of explain like how that works. Yes, there's a fee, but you still save, like, you still save money even if you're ordering Shakeology. And then, I always just give them a little bit of an out. I don't know if that's a good idea, but I'm always like, if you decide you don't like Shakeology for some reason, I can help you cancel it. Like, there's no strings attached. Like, I just want them to make them feel like it's not scary or something they're tied down to, because it's not, clearly. So I always offer that, and that usually works a lot of the time so far. My 2 emeralds are, I built them. It's my husband's account and my mother-in-law's account. So that's how I got those 2 to emerald. And they each have 3 discount coaches under them right now. And then it did not happen until probably July 1st that I actually had coaches want to coach. And so that's just starting to happen for me, actually. But it all kind of started happening at the same time. And I have, so not counting my husband and my mother-in-law, but I now have 5 coaches that are starting to coach. So my life is, I did tell Micah last week, I was like, I think I got a tiny taste of what you do every day. Like, all these questions that are coming my way. So, yes. So I'm just saying that to say, like, I didn't have coaches coaching under me to get to Diamond. Like, I literally just worked and offered people the coach account, and they took it and they like it. Like, I mean, if people give Shakeology a chance, they're going to like it. You know what I mean? For the most part, I would say most of everybody is not going to say, no, I didn't see any difference. And I'm going to be like, well, did you take it every day? Because if you did, then I don't know what you're talking about. So anyway, that's
Jade,
how much.
This is so relatable so far. And I am just like, I've got 2 pages of notes of things that you're writing down already, because it's so relatable and such a myth dispeller. I mean, you are so straightforward and like, this is how I've built. It's a warm market. Well, yes, it should be a warm market for everyone that comes in as a coach. Absolutely no question. Everyone's diamond coach business should be primarily their warm market. So we're all looking for, I mean, yes, we all definitely want to expand our horizons and have more eyes on what we're, offering so that we can serve more people. But the fact is, your diamond coach business is your warm market, and it should be. So thank you for saying that. Thank you for sharing that it's your husband and your mother-in-law, because yes, that's what it should be. And now you've got this lovely foundation that you've built. You have built your own confidence and created some momentum with these coaches that have come in primarily for a discount, but you've still created a lot of confidence in yourself. And you've got this team, you're trying to build this community. And now you've got these 5 coaches who wanted, this is exactly the trajectory that it should go. And I think new coaches come in and think they're supposed to have this 25-star diamond business right off the gate because that's what they see their upline coach have, or this is what, and now we're going to do an email. My team has to have a name and I got to have a logo. But no, you do not. You need to go get your husband and your mom signed up and let's start building this business. So I am so happy that this is exactly the path that you have taken, because this is exactly the path that I took. This is exactly the path that we tell our coaches to take. This is exactly the path the new coach should take, because now you have some momentum and some confidence that you've built in a very lovely, gradual, organic way, so that now when you have these 5 coaches who have said, you know what, I think I want to do a little more with the business, you know what to do with them. You didn't have to know that on day one.
Right. No.
You're however many months in the business and you're like, okay, so now I know a little bit more and I can coach them along, and you will not wake up next Thursday as a Superstar Diamond team and go, well, now how the heck did that happen? Like, that just doesn't happen. I mean, it's just so beautiful and organic how you're doing it. And if every coach on this call and in our group could do it just like this, it would be a beautiful thing. Okay, so now just keep talking.
I was going to say that it was very scary. I mean, my husband's a teacher too, so we have no money, right? We have 2 kids. We both are teachers. So, and I bought the 80-day obsession pack, so the 180 pack. And so my husband was not too keen, like every other husband, to become a coach and make us pay for his account too, right? Like, that's huge. And I totally get it. And I'm glad my husband gave me a hard time, because I just throw him under the bus forevermore. Like, I just use him, like, because people can relate to that. Like, it is all about relating. And so, but I haven't paid for my stuff or his stuff since the first time. I've had it covered every single month. So he has nothing to say now, and I'm so much happier. So he's just so happy too. So anyway, that's totally doable. I've got it covered, with just helping people. Every month I've helped 5 people. So that's like, I shot for 3. That's what Micah told me to. But then the first month I got 5 people. And so I was like, well, I guess I should bump it up to 5. So, like next month I better get 5 or I'm going to be mad at myself. And my husband is one of 3 brothers, and they're all basketball coaches, and their dad is a basketball coach. So it's just competitive, around our house. So like, I'm definitely not going to go back down to 3 if I helped 5 this month. So I've helped 5 or more every month since then. So that's helped me get my stuff paid for, and that's helped me get more discount coaches underneath me, because, and like I said, I probably have 5 people in my school building that are trying to do it. And like, it's going to help when August starts back around, because I was very intentional. And if you're like in a workplace, like I took my Shakeology to work every day. If it wasn't in the tumbler, like, and I like walked down the halls to get my mail with it in my hand, like, the green drink, like somebody's going to ask you, like, what are you drinking? So I was just very intentional about standing out in the hallway, drinking that. Or, I mean, you can just tell when you go from in a funk of not feeling good to having energy and being able to do stuff, like people can just tell. So, it's not just an online business. It's totally the people that are around you. And even if you're not a teacher, you go somewhere, you know what I mean? Like, I even take my 2B water bottle to Walmart, and it's in my cart everywhere I go. I take it to church this morning. It was sitting on the pew. Like, I just take those, I just intentional. not really even trying to be actually, but it just happens because it's part of me, like all of this that I'm doing is incorporated into my life. It's not like this is Beachbody and then here's Jade Wilkins. Like it's all one thing, because why wouldn't it be? I'm so much better. I'm 20 pounds lighter than I was. I've lost 20 pounds in 3 months. Like, or actually, 3 months. So like, it's changed me. And that's what people need to see. Like, yes, I was happy before, but like, I'm so much more happy towards you now and towards, my family and everything. Like, I really think my kindergartners thought I was on something. Like the second week after I had Shakeology every day, like I was doing calendar time like none other. Like they were just so energetic. Like, what is going on with Miss Jade? But anyway, so just like Micah just kept saying, be a product of the product, be a product of the product. And you've heard that 100 times. So like, that's really all I have done, as well as, start inviting people to help me. I post on my stories like 5 to 10 times a day in my stories. And then I post on my page, actually, like on my feed, probably once or twice a day, excuse me. And so now that I'm here, I'm really focusing on, inviting to coaching. It's a great idea. And I know that Micah wanted me to do it at the beginning. And I totally see why, but I was so on my own journey too, which is a good thing, because you want to encourage other people to start while they're on their journey too. How relatable that is. So I would probably have to say, like, I probably didn't start inviting to coaching until July, but now I have 5 people who are coaching. So there's proof that it works, because people are just like, oh, that's not for me. But I'm like, well, why was it for me? Like, you know what I mean? Like one of my coaches says, who's going to buy something from me? And I'm like, well, how are you any different? Why are people buying stuff from me? Because I'm just telling them about it and doing it and being it. And, like there's just you guys know how effective personal development is. And that was something that I needed too. I wasn't spending any time in my Bible. I wasn't spending any time reading a book. And like, I do every day now for 3 months. And like, I do scriptures and I do PD. That's half of it right there, or 80% of it. All this fitness stuff is like extra awesomeness. So like, it's just, that helps me so much in sharing the coaching opportunity, because it's just made all realms of my health better. And why wouldn't I want to share that with people? I know that's scary, and my new coaches right now are like terrified to post on their page. And I'm like, dude, like you have cute kids, you have a fun life, just share it. And so anyway, that's what I'm focusing on now. And of course, I've told you, getting better, expanding my market. Like I'm really, really trying to focus on that. And I hope to be 5-star by the end of the year is my goal. Can I do it? I think I can.
Wow, that's a huge goal, girl. That's awesome.
I hope so. I hope I can make it happen, because I hope I can make it happen, and I hope I can retire from teaching in May 2019.
That's what I wondered, if you wanted to then be home with, since you have the little ones, if you wanted to be home. Yeah. We find, I was a high school English teacher before I got into fitness.
Okay.
And I think that teachers naturally gravitate toward this business because you like the structure, we like the organization, and we love just helping people. So if you have teachers on your team, then you've got a gold mine.
Yeah. Yes.
So look for teachers, people. Look for teachers.
They went out. Well, I told my mother-in-law yesterday, I said, I love helping kids. I really, really do. But I'm not going to miss the principal getting on the intercom yelling that somebody put fake money in the vending machine. Like, I'm not going to miss that. No. And like, I can still have friends here. I could come up to lunch every day, and I can still use this as a market of people to work with and be home with my kids. Mm-hmm. And so that's my main push. Is I feel like, I know not everybody is a stay-at-home mom, but like I want to be. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's not going to happen unless I do something. And so before I did Beachbody, I was looking at photography. I was looking at teaching kids online. I was searching for an outlet. And then I think I snapped one day and I was like, hello, the Lord's put Micah Folsom on your page every day for 5 months. Like, do something about that. And before, like in 2012, when I did P90X, I talked about it all the time. I was like, yeah, it's awful, but like, I'm in the best shape of my life. I have a 6-pack and I can do 7 pull-ups without stopping. Like, so I already was, now I just kind of get, money for it, and I can provide for my family just by helping people get help. I mean, it's just amazing. You're just helping.
I hope everyone picked up on what you said, that you said it in passing. You want something to change your life, so you're doing something about it. And you said it so sort of offhandedly, except that's the key. You would like something different in your life. You would like your life to look a little differently. It's not that it's bad. You just like it to look a little differently than it does now. So you're doing something about it. So we've got maybe 8 minutes left, and I'd love to open it up if they have any questions, because I've been talking a lot, but if they've got questions. I don't see a lot of questions in the chat. If you want to put a question in the chat, or if you just want to, unmute yourself and ask Jade a question, you can do that as well. So I'm going to take off my speaker view and go back to my Brady Bunch view. Does anyone have a question that they want to? Dan, do you have anything?
Well, yeah, two things real quick. Yada, I believe is how you say her name, did have a question, so we'll get to that, I think, real quick here first. But the thing I really want to highlight, Jade, for you, I just love the fact that you unknowingly said this. Julie talks about this a lot of times, and she said it several times at our Super Saturdays and Super Sundays, is the fact that there's this integration of Beachbody coaching into the fabric of you. So it's not like it's this character that you sort of put on for an hour a day, and hey, I'm going to put on my Beachbody person character, and now I'm just going to take that off, and then now I'm going to be no, it's like it starts to become the fabric of who you are in a good way, because you know what I mean. I think hopefully this opportunity is bringing out the best of us, because I think if you go the other direction and we become all salesy and gross, then that would be then you're doing Beachbody wrong, right? But so the big thing for me just hit to me is that I think when you are integrating, so you integrate scripture, you're integrating your personal development stuff, you're integrating normal parts of your life into what we do, and then it's a natural outpouring. So your social media timeline is a reflection of you instead of this weirdo character and I think that's what a lot of people then feel like they have to do, like, because they see everybody, it's like, oh, wow, well, suddenly I became the fitness nut, right? And especially as newer coaches, and it's suddenly everything they post about, they don't post anything else about anything else now, because it's all fitness, right? Can anybody give a amen to that, right? It's like, well, I guess I'll have to post 7 selfies today of my workout. It's like, no, live who you are. And yes, then you pepper that in, you add that into the spice of life. So I just wanted to highlight that for you, because I thought it was just a brilliant point that you hit on that. And I think we can, enough. So Yada's asking this question. I think that's how you say your name. But what if no one in your warm market wants to do it, even when you ask and post? I think this is a really great question, Yada, and I'd love to hear, Jade, how you would hit that. And maybe you won't maybe have a whole lot, because you did ask, and it sounds like your warm market did open up to that. But maybe you've had some spots where, so any wisdom you can speak to Yada in this case?
Yeah, I like both of my sister-in-laws are anti, and like my best friends that I teach with right across the hall are like anti, like they have showed zero interest at all. And like, they're the people I talk to the most. And so, I got heartbroken for about 5 minutes, and then I was like, they'll come around. Like, if your warm market people aren't opening up, I just really try to allow grace, because I just reflect on my own self. It took me 5 months to get to where I wanted to do it. You know what I mean? And like, you don't want people to join in. You don't want to push them to join in, because then you're going to be pulling them all the way through the challenge group. You know what I mean? You're going to be pushing them through it, making them go, making them check in. And like, when you start building your team, you realize like, you don't really have time to be messaging everyone privately. Like Micah just said on a power hour call this week that like, we're not babysitters, right, for the challenge group. So make your expectations at the beginning. Like, let them know that you're in the challenge group and you're there for them, and that's where they need to show up, and that's where you can help them. But I'm saying that to say, if people aren't ready, just let them be, because they're going to remember that you invited them, And then when they come back to your page in 2 months and they see that you're still showing up for yourself, then they're going to reach out when they're ready. I mean, Micah, it took me a long time to get there, a long time. Up and down, up and down. I'm ready, I'm not ready, I'm ready, I'm not ready. And then finally, when I was ready, I was in it. And I've just noticed, like, I feel like I already have some challengers that probably were on the fence, but did it anyway. And then they've kind of fluked out and not really shown up in the group at all. And then I have others who are like ready, and they had thought about it and they were ready to commit, and they're the ones that are excelling. So, I mean, if they don't respond to you, I follow up 2 days later. And if they don't respond again, then I just kind of let it be, and I just go back to connecting with them on their page and, you know, showing them love through their hearting their pictures or commenting on their pictures and stuff. Because when they are ready, they're going to come back and they're going to see. That's what Micah did for me. Those 5 months, every time I went back to check on her, she was there doing her thing. And I was like, okay, like there's something to this, because she's rocking it out every single day, feeling awesome. I can tell it through her posts. I can hear it through her voice. And I wanted that. And so people want that. People want to be happy and healthy and feel good. And so I just think when those warm market people are ready, they're going to reach back out.
I think Eva is a great example of that too, because I've known Eva, like, it feels like forever and ever and ever. And as long as I've known Eva, I've been a Beachbody coach. So like, she's never not known me as a coach in her life, because she's been friends with my daughter for so long. And just this summer, she's like, well, I think I want to do this. So if I would have asked her, I mean, she's young, and so it wouldn't have maybe made sense earlier, but if I would have said, even when she graduated from high school, hey, you know, you're 18, like you could be a coach, it wouldn't have made sense for her. But because she was ready at this point in her life to do this, I mean, she turned Emerald right away. She's got challengers. She's got people. She's, you know, she's got a team name, for heaven's sakes. It's so awesome, because she was ready at this particular time. So it's a great illustration of just keep, and I'm pretty sure Eva, when she looked at my posts for the last 10 years, was like, well, there she is doing her fitness thing again, still talking about it, you know? So I was probably kind of that Micah person in her life. And then when she was ready, it made sense for her. And Lord knows, I wish I would have had this business when I was in college. So Eva, you're way smarter than most of us.
Yeah.
Anybody
else with questions?
We have any other
what else
questions
do you guys have?
or anything else? Dan,
Jade has said it all. She is the wisdom. She is spoken with proverbial wisdom. Proverbs 31 woman right there, just bringing the heat. So good. So guys, I think one of the big things that I would really point out here as we're kind of getting through these newer, the beginnings, and the thing I love about just this itself, the thing I love about just getting together with newer coaches who are kind of just getting into this, is that when we can share some of what is normal, it's just like a challenge. So I consider this is challenge group, first challenge group so consider your first challenge group and you're just getting into a new coach. It's the same kind of thing here. All we're trying to do in this is for you to be able to go, yep, I feel you. That's normal. Do you remember that first time and like that first week, and maybe you didn't get good progress your first week, and you maybe even gained weight, and then there's another challenger in the group and she said, I had to gain weight too, but then the next week you guys both got success. Yeah, that's where we're at. So it's like, you know, someone's going to look back at Yada, and we're going to be like, yeah, remember that first time when she was struggling that first couple of weeks, and she was struggling with her warm market, but then she kept persevering and she stuck through it, and she actually kept going, and she went for no, and she read the book, Go for No, which way, if you haven't read that book yet, or you should probably read that book. But anyway, Go for No. And then, hey, she got it. Man, awesome. Then we can celebrate even more. So guys, that's why I love the fact that we're doing this thing right here. So thanks, Julie, for really putting this together. Jade, thank you for being here. I'm sorry, I'm sort of taking the MC role here, which is how I tend to roll. Sorry. But anyway, so that's great. Good.
Yeah.
So any other
Jade,
yeah, we're going to try to get
for sharing that tonight, because man, it was just so spot on and so perfect. And I got to make sure that I reach back out to Micah and tell her that she found a gold mine in you, girl, because you're going to be a star and you're really great at sharing.
5-star by December, right?
5-star by December. So
great.
Dan's going to take the lead for our check-in next weekend, and we'll do another check-in next weekend, and then we're going to schedule 2 in August. So every other month rather than every week. And that give you a little breathing room as we head back into school, because since August is that back to school month, and trying to get some speakers every once in a while, because I think, Jade's story is so relatable and provides such great information for us that I love to get other voices on here. So Jade, I'm so glad that you shared your story with us tonight.
Well, and I would say even this, that some of you will probably be those future speakers, right? Because you're going to be where Jade's at in about 2-3 months, right? Right? Come on. You can do it. You
Come
can.
on.
So.
And I was going to say, I sent like 100, this is the go for nothing. The first 2 weeks of July, I sent over 100 invites just to my challenge group, because I was really pushing Lift 4. You know what I mean? Like, I was just trying to get people in. So I was going to say, like, before a challenge, like if I have a start date, I push my invites to a daily thing, like 10 to 20 a day, just because my market's not humongous yet. So I'm not going to invite just 100,000 people because I run out of people. But, like 10 to 20 a day right before the Lift 4 group started. And I think I got 11.
Wow.
So, I mean, like, it's okay. Their name's on my list and they're going to come back. And a lot of them, if they say later, I wrote a big later beside of them, and I'm going to go back to them later and check back in with them and see if they're ready. So I showed that to my team, my 5 people or my 4 people trying to rock it out. I was like, guys, you can invite and they can say no, and it's okay. Like, it's a thing. You are planting seeds that they are going to remember you from, and they're going to come back to you when they are ready. So that's the thing I keep telling myself that every day. It's not like something I have, I still need to remind myself every day of all these truths and all that personal development just to keep pushing through, because you need it. And then when you get here, you start getting those messages that are like, you're amazing. I'm going to take in the inner Jade here, and I'm going to do this thing or something, like you get those kind messages. I've lost 9 pounds in, 20 days. And it's just, I don't know. It's just all those good things that start coming, and you feel those blessings in so many ways. So,
and just the fact that you leveled up your invites a little bit, gave you those 11 people, they came into your life, and now you get to help them change their life a little bit. And how cool is that?
Yes.
So cool.
So good.
It's so cool.
Yeah, I think we might even with your guys' thoughts, and we'll kind of talk about it in the group, but maybe inviting might be a really good topic next week. I think that's just getting over the fear that. We can talk a little bit about objections. We can talk a little bit about what, if there are scriptings that you do, like general procedures about handling that, and then again, maybe even managing it, what your system of managing all those invites looks like. So that might be a pretty good idea to kind of natural flow out of what we just talked about here tonight.
That's awesome.
All right, guys. Wow. Fantastic call. Really, really great stuff. And if you don't post about this, everybody should smile right now and take a selfie of this whole page right now. And you should y'all
I've already taken it.
Which you've already done. And just talk about, I love how people would train for this because that's how our team rolls.
Yep.
And that's so good. You should do that.
Jade on Instagram.
Looking at you, look at your Beachbody coaches.
Jade is just your Jade Wilkins on Instagram, yes?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Make sure you tag her. Tell her thank you.
Yep.
Please. Awesome. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you for sharing your time with us tonight. And Dan will take over next weekend and have some great stuff for us next weekend. So looking forward to seeing you all again in person next weekend. Thank you, Jade.
Welcome. Thank you.
Yeah.